Ever walked into your bathroom or kitchen and just been hit by a completely frustrating, unexplainable foul odor? You know the one. Welcome to this explainer. If you're dealing with that right now, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we are going to empower you to solve these mysterious, super annoying smells once and for all. And the best part? The vast majority of these issues are totally manageable on your own without having to call in a professional for major repairs.
So where on earth is that smell actually coming from? To figure this out, I want you to think of this explainer as a bit of a mystery. Your home is the crime scene, and foul sewer gas? Well, that's our phantom intruder trying to break in. It can be incredibly unsettling, I know, but we've got a lineup of the usual suspects. By the end of our time together, we're going to uncover the culprits and show you exactly how to lock them out, often in well under an hour.
Okay, let's dive into this with suspect number 1, the phantom sewer smell and the missing water seal.
To understand how this phantom actually gets in, we have to look at the primary mechanical defense that keeps our home smelling fresh, the P-trap. You've probably seen this curved pipe under your sink. Think of the P-trap as a literal moat valiantly defending the castle of your home. The curve of this pipe holds a small amount of water, which creates a physical liquid barrier. When that water seal is functioning properly, invading sewer gases simply cannot rise up through the pipes and enter your living space. But what happens when the moat dries up?
Well, that brings us to the locations where this suspect usually strikes. If a fixture just hasn't been used recently, like a guest bathroom sink, a seldom used basement shower, or a tub that just sits there for months, the water in that protective moat simply evaporates. Without that water barrier, the seal is broken. You are basically inviting the smells right inside, and those foul gases rise straight up into the room. This can also happen if you have a slow leak that's draining the trap without you realizing it.
The crazy thing is, restoring the seal is incredibly easy. If you suspect an evaporated seal, all you have to do is run the water in the affected drain for maybe 30 to 60 seconds. That's literally it. This simple action, refilling the P-trap, completely rebuilds your water barrier. Give it a bit and check if the odor fades. If it does, boom, case closed. To prevent this from happening again, just make it a habit to periodically run a little water down those infrequently used drains.
All right, moving on to suspect number 2. The Grime Syndicate. And yeah, it's about as gross as it sounds.
So let's say your P-trap is full of water, the moat is secure, but the smell is still lurking. Now it's time to interrogate the slightly gross reality of what actually goes down our drains on a daily basis. The usual lineup in this grime syndicate includes hair and soap scum, which are of course notorious in bathroom sinks and showers. Then, over in the kitchen, we have food particles, starches, and grease causing chaos. Over time, all these materials clump together, they trap other organic residues, and they basically create a mini compost pile right inside your drain lines. As that trapped material decomposes, well, it produces a very persistent foul odor.
Luckily, the solution here is really low effort, but incredibly high reward. First, simply remove any visible debris right there at the drain opening. If the clog is farther down but still accessible, a physical cleaning step using a manual removal tool or a plumber's snake will usually break up the syndicate entirely. But for ongoing prevention, listen, a simple, cheap drain strainer is often the most effective ongoing upgrade you can make. Keep the grime out, keep the smells out. Simple as that.
Now what's really interesting about this slide is suspect number 3, the choked vent.
This suspect is super sneaky because it isn't even located inside the living spaces of your house. It works from the outside in. To understand this one, we need to realize that your plumbing system actually breathes. Exterior plumbing vents, usually up on your roof, are designed to equalize air pressure. This exact pressure balance is what allows water to flow smoothly down the drain while safely routing toxic sewer gases up and away from your home. But if one of those vents gets choked up by falling leaves, a bird's nest, or other debris, the entire system's air pressure gets completely thrown off.
So since the vent is usually up on the roof or outside, how do you even know it's the culprit? The clues are actually very specific. First, you'll start to hear these weird gurgling sounds coming from your drains. You might also notice widespread slow draining across the house. And the biggest, most massive clue is if odors suddenly appear only when multiple fixtures are being used at the exact same time. If multiple drains are acting up simultaneously, ventilation is absolutely your prime suspect.
If you spot these specific clues, your first step is to just look for obvious exterior obstructions near your vent openings. But please only do this if they are safely accessible to you from the ground or a safe vantage point. Never risk a dangerous fall for a plumbing vent.
Now, if you can't see a clear blockage or safely reach the vent and you still have that consistent gurgling and widespread odor, this specific suspect might require a professional assessment.
Which brings us to suspect number 4, hidden dead zones. This final suspect is going to require a bit of physical investigating on your part. Sometimes an odor persists simply because the trap area is difficult to access, or because stubborn residue builds up in sneaky hiding places just out of sight. You see, sinks and tubs can have these hidden dead zones, areas where the normal, everyday flow of water just isn't strong enough to scrub the interior surface clean, so the grime accumulates quietly out of sight, continuously releasing odors back into the room. This exact same thing can also happen around cleanouts, which are those little access points often located under sinks or down in crawl spaces.
To solve this, you're going to need to roll up your sleeves. First, if your system has a cleanout, check that it is tightly sealed and not leaking whatsoever. Next, let me clarify. If you can safely access the P-trap, you can actually remove it entirely. Just put a bucket underneath, take it off, and take it outside or to another sink. Thoroughly rinse out the accumulated buildup hiding in those dead zones, and then carefully put the whole shebang back together. Pay incredibly close attention to making sure the gaskets and seals fit perfectly snug so you don't accidentally create a brand new leak.
Okay, so let's talk about the right weapons, safe fixes versus chemicals.
Now that we've identified all of our suspects, we need to arm ourselves properly without destroying our home's plumbing in the process. A lot of homeowners immediately reach for a jug of strong chemical drain cleaner. It is a super common myth that these are the ultimate easy fix. In reality, these harsh chemical treatments often only mask the odors temporarily, and worse, they can seriously damage your plumbing materials over time. They can even be incredibly dangerous if used repeatedly or mixed incorrectly. The far better, safer approach is mechanical cleaning. Strainers, hair removal tools, and augers actually target the root source, the physical buildup itself, without destroying your pipes. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. If you have frequent clogs, improving what goes down the drain usually reduces odor more reliably than repeated chemical treatments. It's so true. Prevention is always your best, most reliable, long-term defense against these smells.
So the crucial point is knowing when to call for backup.
Listen, there is absolutely no shame in handing the detective badge over to the professionals when you hit certain red flags. If the odors are persistent across multiple drains and just won't go away, if you are experiencing actual sewage backups into your tubs or sinks, if you suspect a choked vent up on the roof that you can't reach, or if you spot leakages you simply cannot safely address yourself, stop. Just stop and call for an expert inspection. Trying to fix these larger systemic issues yourself could lead to much bigger, far more expensive problems down the line.
Which brings us to the end of our investigation. I really want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. When was the exact last time you checked the guest bathroom sink or that basement floor drain? Seriously, don't wait for the phantom sewer smell to break in and invade your home. Take just a few minutes today to go run some water in those unused sinks, check your strainers, and keep your home's defenses strong. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy sleuthing.